Hello, welcome back. Happy Halloween. It's our Halloween special. So let's first go around and say what we are for those who are only listening. You can tune into our actual video on YouTube at Hive Connective. But Rhea, you first. What's your costume?
I am a cowgirl from the Wild Wild West.
I love it.
And you look like a cowgirl too.
Thank you. If you want an OOTD, Amazon, Anthropologie, Levi's, Primark.
Oh,
Fit check.
I realize we actually have the same hairstyle, so maybe I'm also a cowgirl. But I am a cross between Steve Jobs and Wednesday Addams.
Wednesday Jobs.
Wednesday Jobs.
Steve Adams, if you will.
Iconic.
Wednesday actually ended up being a tech mogul, and she didn't lose her touch, though. You know what I mean? So
Facts. Period.
That's a really good attitude to go into the tech world with. I think
Yeah.
she would dominate.
she actually would. And so for the listeners at home, I just have my regular old outfit on and I braided my hair. So and by regular outfit I mean, I say that like everyone knows me. Black turtleneck shirt. As always, catch me anytime, any day in this outfit.
We love it.
Michaela. Actually, I just realized, sorry, that we are progressively less costumed as you
It's
move
okay.
down the line.
As social media managers who have been prepping graphics for Halloween
We're
for
busy.
weeks now for our clients,
Sorry, busy.
we had to give minimal effort.
It's Christmas in our minds. Like we're beyond.
Truly.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. I am a stressed out social media manager, hence the cigarette. We need the nicotine. Not actually, but you know.
Well,
well, I mean, it depends. Catch me on
Yep.
a weekend.
demonetized.
And spiritually, you are Jamie from the Joe Rogan podcast, because
Exactly.
that's your role on our podcast.
Yes.
As we've talked about from the beginning.
Yes.
Spooky ooky. Happy Halloween, you guys.
Happy Halloween. As Brittany Broski would say, spooky dooky ooky.
It really is. I can't believe it's October at the end of October. So
I know.
whatever.
We've got a fun episode in store for
We
today.
do.
But first, we want to talk about, well, a happening that's been going on in our inner circle of the agency, and then by proxy, things we've been learning. So do you want to intro that topic today, Paige?
I do, because I have a lot of questions for you both.
Let's get
Just
into
for the
it.
whole, just to set the scene too. I think we talk about this every episode, but the three of us are a team. Outside of talking about social media, we actually do social media work. We're a social media agency. We have clients, and we are, like, in the true sense of the word, hands-on with those accounts.
Mhm.
And when I say we, though, I'm saying this all to say, you two, in this case, are the ones who were actually like posting and doing the work that we're about to talk about. So that's why I'm going to ask you questions, because in this case, I am truly just the boss that oversaw the activity and watched as you guys kicked some serious social ass. So first of all, good job. I'm
Well,
being
thank you.
elusive. What happened was one of our many agency clients, who we have worked with for a long time, had a little, I don't want to say little, had a big moment of virality in the last 2 weeks or so. I guess it's
Yeah.
been like
Yeah.
almost a 3
3
week.
weeks now, but
3 week
we're on the
journey.
third week.
And this is a client who we run all of their social channels, including their TikTok, which was actually, it didn't exist before
Yeah.
us. We pitched the idea of getting onto TikTok early in 2021.
2021, because
Early
we
at the beginning
started
of the
working
year.
with her in January, and
Yep.
then it took a couple months to convince her to do the TikTok.
It did, because this is a client who's, at face value, their audience is not, quote unquote, they felt like their audience wouldn't be on TikTok because it's like older skewing, kind of more higher income earning
Yeah.
level, like household income of $100,000 or more
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
At
At the very least.
Yeah, at the very least. So it was a labor of love to get them on TikTok,
Yeah.
but they have a vibrant personality. Should we say who it is? Is that weird?
I feel like we can. Why
Yeah.
not?
Okay. You can see it. She's a fantastic and wonderful interior designer, Annie Elliott Designs, at Annie Elliott Designs on social and especially on TikTok. And she's just got such a good personality, and
Yeah.
she's so fantastic. She's an expert at what she does, which is really fun but elevated interior design. And she does this for clients. And so we knew that she would do well on social media, but especially on video, because she's
Mhm.
just got an infectious
Such a cute
personality.
Yeah.
She's made for content.
Yeah.
So we've been managing the TikTok presence for this account from the ground up, from creation to now, since January of 2021. Slow and steady growth have had some, nice moments of
Yeah.
like kind of increased reach and stuff, growing the audience slow
Yep.
and steady. But one of our most recent content shoots led to a series of pieces of content, basically shop alongs. Like we took her to like Home Goods and IKEA and other stores,
Yeah.
and had her kind of give her take on what's worth it there if you're looking for kind of design elements in your home, and what she would not go for. And we filmed that as a series, and we put it out. And
In parts.
I want to start by asking, because I have my answer. Did any of you think that would be the content that would go viral? And by viral, I mean we had a couple of those videos surpass 1 million views. Two of them.
3 million is the one at
We
3 million.
hit over 3 million.
Yeah.
The most successful of those videos is like almost 3.5 as of
Yeah.
this morning
Yeah.
views.
Just one video that's
Yep.
and then the other ones are trickling.
We had another at
really
1.5 million,
closely.
and
Mhm.
then
Like
a lot of
500,000.
it. Really, basically, what happened was, I'm so excited. I'm skipping around. that one video that's now at 3.5 million views, kind of I think set off like a cascade
Yeah.
of the rest of that content being really successful, and other
Yeah.
content that we were posting.
Right.
We just really, it went from average social media account to easily the most viral. I hate that word, but like viral of the accounts that we manage.
Yeah.
Right.
And is still growing.
Yes.
The audience has almost 4x'd itself
Yes.
since before that content.
Yeah. So she had 3 weeks ago, she had 34,000
Yeah.
followers.
Yeah.
And today, do you have your phone on you, MK? Do you want to check the live count? I believe she's like
Let's-
118,
118.
maybe more.
Last time I checked, it was 118.
Okay.
We're gonna
yeah.
find
Let's
out.
go back.
So and
And let
1
me just
million
reemphasize,
likes.
Yeah,
in 3 weeks.
118.3.
118.3.
Yep. She went from 34,000 to that in 3 freaking weeks. And so to answer your question,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Because we have content buckets, as we do for
Mhm.
every client. We have a strategy for each of her platforms. So like Instagram and TikTok, 2 different strategies for this client. And Shop With Me's were not on our content buckets at all. So like, the past year we haven't been like moving the needle as much, and we've been trying to like give them what we've been giving them with design challenges and these series that we're doing well. And then we put this out there, and oh my God, I was never expecting this.
No.
And I will say the same thing. I think also, to your point, is when creating content, I'm not specifically thinking like, oh, this is going to go viral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like an interesting point to bring up,
Yeah.
because a lot of the times people will do crazy out of the line stuff on video to post on TikTok, and with in mind that it's going to go viral.
Right.
But with these videos, I was not expecting it, which was, it added so much more excitement to it.
Yeah.
Which it was really cool to see.
I think that's such an important point, because I don't think any of our clients we create content I know we don't to go viral. That is like, so in fact, when clients bring that up, we're like,
We like nip it in
stop
the
talking
bud.
about
Yeah.
that, because it's
That's
so
not-
not the measure of success that we look to at all.
It's like the opposite of abundance mindset, even though it sounds like it is, because that's not like, there's so much more that goes into it. And if you're just expecting, like, you're setting your expectations so wrong if you are just hoping to go viral all the time.
Yeah. And it just doesn't say anything either about like,
Correct.
so true.
like virality doesn't actually in itself
Yes.
tell you anything about like the
Yeah.
value of that content, the people who are seeing it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like like anybody technically can contribute to 1 million views, right? Like
Mhm.
that's a lot of people. So we don't really want things to go viral if
Yeah.
it means it's reaching all these people that actually aren't our target
Exactly.
audience, you know?
You bring up a really good point there that I think we should talk about for a second, because just because your video goes viral doesn't mean it's going to result in all these followers and all these
Mhm.
people like going to your other videos. And there's a reason for that, because the content has to be something that you regularly put out. Like
Yes.
the video that goes viral has to be, for you to be able to replicate this and get this kind of response, it has to be like the thing that you know best, that you can
Right.
provide more of. Because I've had a video go viral before.
Yeah.
And it was a random one, me sitting at a bar. It was about a drink that I really like to order. Got over 1 million views. Didn't really get many followers from that, because they come to my page and I don't post alcohol content. So it's not like they were coming and seeing all these other cocktail recipes, but like they, so that doesn't mean just because a video goes viral, it's going to get you here.
Right.
This is the result of a strategy that's been in place, and us listening to her audience,
Mhm.
and then knowing what to do and how to shift once it started to tick,
Yeah.
go off.
Right.
So I think it's really important to like know, it's like, just because your video goes there, like that's why it can't be your main goal to go viral.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because like you said, it doesn't mean anything
No.
in its own right.
And if that was all we were chasing, like we would be making a lot of different decisions. So to your point, Michaela, I feel like that you're right. That's what added to the excitement of it, because it was truly the content we were going to make anyway for this client. Like, and it's something that we were standing behind as like strategically the right decision. So to see that be well received is like, for as a social manager, at least like egotistically for me, I was like, yeah, we were right. Like that, not that I want 1 million people to see every single video, but like the general feedback was that this is interesting. I want to see more of this. Please do it again. Go somewhere else. Like that to me was like, okay, right. So we tapped the right vein of content. Yeah. And like the virality is nice or whatever, but the fact that it's reinforcement to us, like, hey, this strategy, it's working.
Yeah.
For me was like the cool part about it. But the reason that we're talking about this is not to like sit here and brag on our own podcast, how dumb. It is because when this started to happen, first of all, I want to present the timeline of it. That video that now has the 3 million plus views, Michaela, you posted it on like a Friday evening. It was like right at the end of the workday or even after, right? It was like sort of.
I was on my way to a haunted house and I was like, what can I do that's fun? And like, I really enjoy editing her videos. I think it was around like 7:30ish. But
so 7:30 on a Friday night. From that point forward, we've been dealing with the impact of what, like the other end of, on the other side of what happens when your content goes viral, what happens when your audience grows at a really accelerated rate, like 60, 80,000 followers or what's the math? Yeah, like a bajillion million new followers in 3 weeks. Like that brings with it a lot of, it's just an influx of everything. And so the specific conversation that we're going to have today is kind of like the wellness of going viral, period. But like, especially as folks who manage a social media account, what that looks like, how we handle it, the pros and cons, like the hard parts about it, and like how we manage it specifically, how you guys manage it specifically, like in relationship to how, because it's not our account, right? It would be one thing if it was our account.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's another person.
I would say that's another thing to presence. It's not like this was like a business account either. Like Annie operates through her personality. So while it's Annie Elliott Design and she actually has a team of like, 4 or 5 designers behind her on her team.
Multiple
on
team
the
members.
TikTok, it's presented as Annie and Annie Elliott and her personality. So that did provide a little bit more of like the level of like taking care and wellness, especially when it came to the client and helping to support her receiving all this, because it was her face and her personality.
Right. So from like a wellness standpoint, I mean, I can recall the group chat, but give me like your immediate reactions. It's Friday night. You're seeing that we are all seeing that the numbers are going up. Like, first of all, what was that like to experience from your personal perspective, and what did it feel like is more importantly my question.
Electric.
Yeah, euphoric to say the least. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was. We actually had to have several conversations about it, and then so because of this, we ended up getting the client to come to Philly for a day that week after to get more content, because we all recognized how important it was to keep this ball going. And when when Annie came to Philly, she was like, do you guys have other clients and you sleep, right? Like, because we were all texting each other at all hours being like, oh, 80,000. Oh my God, 100,000. And, keeping up with the numbers, that it's easy to like, it just inundates you. Like it's the first thing I thought about when I woke up in the morning, and I would check, and like before I'd go to bed, and anytime I was bored, I'd be like, oh, gotta get into Annie. I mean, it was euphoric. That's a great way to put it, Michaela.
Yeah. It was awesome to like keep going back and seeing the numbers tick up. But I guess to, tie back to the wellness aspect of things, with going viral, sometimes you're going to reach an audience that you don't necessarily intend to. So what was your perspectives when comments started coming in that weren't necessarily the nicest?
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
I would just say the one thing I was grateful for was, so she had about 30,000 followers before that. They didn't come from like, there was a moment or two of this before, like where there was kind of an influx of outside like people, not her core audience, that were like seeing 1 or 2 particular videos that would like do really well. Like we used to do, we still do them sometimes, but like identifying design elements in popular TV shows, and
Yes.
those were
Right.
like one of the pieces of content that prior to this was I would have called like our more viral stuff,
Mhm.
and that would bring in eyeballs of people who like generally weren't always her audience, but were
Yeah.
like seeing this piece of content. So I knew I always know with any client, but especially this one, when it's like a level, it's a thought leadership thing. Kind of, she has her expertise. Not everyone agrees, right? Of course, that's
Right.
totally fair game. So like we've had a little bit of that before. So I think, and I actually think that might be the difference, because that stuff was all pre MK on team,
Yeah.
and so we actually had a little bit of experience with not negative comment, like naysayers, people who
Sure.
are like, I disagree. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And sometimes that was like constructive disagreement. Other
Sure.
times it's like people just being stupid. So we saw a little bit of that, but like when we started first having these conversations as a team in the moment of this growth happening, and Michaela, you were mentioning like it's hard not to take these things personally and stuff. I was
Yes.
reminded that having that little bit of experience on this particular account even put us in a different case scenario than you, because like that's there's something that comes with that, like having experienced it before and being able to like, I feel like for me, like some of the negative comments and stuff, it's easy to be like, okay, those are expected, and then there's like the 1% that's like flagrant foul, and that's part of our job is
right
deciding which ones are just deletes, which comments you just delete and who gets blocked, and who needs to be put in their place. Sometimes we were going on our personal accounts and replying back to some of the comments just as like on our behalf, just being like, all right, sit down, buddy.
right.
But I felt okay about it, and the only reason I think this was interesting, we had another, I'm not even going to get into it, but we had another piece of content that kind of picked up steam sort of quickly earlier that week. It was like getting quite a few views and quite a bit of feedback, and it was basically just like the piece of content that we had shared was hitting an audience who was not viewing it from the perspective that it was created, and
like not from a design perspective.
But and so their feedback was just like so left field, and it was getting a lot of traction because it was getting a lot of comments. And I fully take like the responsibility on this one. I called the team to order and was like, executive decision, that one's getting put in only me. And the reason
it wasn't making a positive impact more than the negative impact, like most other videos.
It's exactly
just
what the call was. Like,
people were just shitting on
views
it for
are
no
not
reason.
views. Like, it's like this age old thing, like any PR is good. No, not true.
Not especially not for cultivating a community.
Correct, which is our goal. So that one was an easy one to be like, okay, we are getting feedback, but generally speaking, it's just not having it's not sparking the conversation that it's meant to spark, and like it's not feeding this community in a positive way. So like, no harm, no foul. It wasn't anything that we have like would, it's not like deleted. It's just like that didn't do what we wanted it to do. So we're just gonna table that one and try a different approach, So because of that, when I was seeing the response coming in on this one, I was like, okay, this is better. This is discourse. You know what I mean? This is people saying, I totally agree. This is people saying, I don't agree. This is people saying, I kind of agree. I'm really interested in your opinions. Like, share more of this. And so that felt, and we were watching the follower count tick up, which to me, I was like, that's the signal, right? Like, if people are interested enough to want to see more and they stick around, then I will take the 1% of comments that are like crazy, because of course it's going to hit like random bots, trolls, whatever, people that are just naysayers. But if the overall interest is there, people are definitely interested in hearing more, they're engaging and they're following, meaning they want to see more of it, let it run. You know what I mean? So and we'll handle that's what our job is, to filter out that nonsense.
I agree. There were 2 moments when I knew we had like not made it, but like we had our cake and we can eat it too, is when people were commenting like, I can't stand this and I keep seeing her on my For You page and I totally disagree, but I cannot stop watching. And it's like, as spiteful as those comments felt a little bit, it's like, you know what, that's kind of awesome. Like, you like this enough that you keep coming back. Sure, comment whatever. Like, I don't know why you feel the need to do that and say those things. Like, but you're still here and you're still giving us engagement. So now then there were side, like Michaela, you mentioned, or you had mentioned that we talked about how Michaela's like, oh, it's hard not to take it personally. And it is, because we care about the client. And like I mentioned earlier, this isn't a brand facing account. This is a person facing account. So it's her person, it's her personality. And when it starts to reach the wrong audience and they're no longer giving like their disagreement with her design advice, but they're like now talking about like her appearance or like her like other things that just are just mean, that's when you're getting blocked, that's when you're getting deleted. And so I've had to do a lot of practice with myself over the past 3 weeks when I go open the account, like, because I'll feel my chest start to get tight as I'm going through the comments.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking I want to protect the client and I want to go in here and delete anything that's like truly mean
Yeah.
before she goes to see it, because I know she's checking this just like we
Yeah.
are.
Mhm.
So it's like this protective role, but then that also like takes a toll on us as
Yeah.
social managers, because like I'd be sitting there scrolling and I could literally feel the tension building up in my chest, and then I'd have to like take a deep breath and be like, wait,
Right.
this is just an account. These are just people. We can block, delete. Like,
So true.
that's why those features are there. So it's been like a constant like roller coaster of, oh my God, this is so exciting. Holy shit, 60 comments in the past hour. Oh,
Mhm.
going through them. Oh my gosh, these are a little
Mhm.
intense. Okay, take a deep breath, Raya. This is
Yeah.
just, social media. Like, it's just this constant reminder
Yeah.
thought process when going through it, because it's doesn't sleep. It doesn't stop. It doesn't
Mhm.
have a 9 to 5. Like, social media is all the time.
100%. I was just going to say that was like one of the biggest things that stood out to me. It was like, okay, this is feeling like it's never ending.
Yeah.
Like, these comments are just trickling in. You don't know when it's going to
Yeah.
You really, some people just say really off
Yeah.
the wall, unhinged things that will come at 2 a.m. Like, you just
Yep.
don't know.
I can't imagine too, and I think I've said this to y'all, but like, I can't imagine what it's like to be a creator and
Mhm.
receive this kind of engagement at all times, all the time. Like, this is just your job, and this is the kind of numbers you always see, and being the only person to receive it and have to talk yourself down from
Yeah.
mean comments. Like,
Right.
as a team, it's a lot. I
Yeah.
can only imagine what it's like as a person, just one individual.
So true.
Because we've had to pep talk ourselves over the past week. We've had to pep talk Annie herself. Like, we've gotten her on the phone and been like, you know what, maybe don't read all the comments. Like,
Right.
maybe we got you, and then just go in and sprinkle in some responses once in a while.
Mhm.
Because it's tolling. It takes a lot.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting point, because you both, as the account, you're both really hands-on with this particular account for our work. You're in like a group chat with Annie, so you're in touch with her really regularly about all things, not just like this particular instance. So what was that like, to be in, like, was there sort of you mentioned you got on the phone, but did you have to do some sort, like, were you keeping her updated? Was she kind of tuning in on her own? Like, how do you manage kind of like wanting to, like, I mean, manage it, period, but also wanting to like get them excited about it, but also we don't know how long it's going to last, so like not trying
Yeah.
to like over
So true.
and also like not trying to like make it sound like virality is like the only thing that matters, but
Yeah.
also like wanting to like lean in and really be present in the moment of like, wow, that's awesome, like that's really cool. So
Yeah.
how did that work for you both, like being in sort of more informal contact with her?
It was a flow of conversation. Like, it went very back and forth. So there would be times where we would text her and
Mhm.
say like, oh my gosh, you are X amount of followers away from this big milestone. And she'd be like, I know, I'm
Yeah.
watching. Or she would text us first and be like, oh, like, we just hit whatever.
Mhm.
So it's very back and forth. We're all very involved. But I'll let you answer that to the point of like the actual conversations we had with her and like the back and forth that we were doing.
I think, yeah, to your point, we were all equally very excited and on top of things. And during our recent visit with Annie, or rather, she visited
Mhm.
us and came to IKEA, we were just talking about how just last week when we visited her where she lives and just how much it's grown.
Mhm.
So we really shared that moment of like, wow, look how far we came in such
Yeah.
a short period of time. But then we also did do like a little bit of a discussion, kept it short, of just like, listen, there are some comments, because she obviously is tuned in. She was seeing some of the
Yes.
comments
Right.
trickle in too, and we just reminded her of her expertise and the people that are interested in her content, and do care. They're not going to leave hate comments, and
Yeah.
there are far more people that are liking it and giving her a follow,
Yeah.
meaning that they want to see more of her content, than there are people that are leaving those
That are
negative
dissing,
comments.
yeah.
So
Yeah, so it was very, very back and forth with her, and
Yeah.
very supportive, like overall very exciting. And
totally.
I don't know if you felt this too, Michaela, but there were almost times where I would get, and still, where I get a little desensitized to the numbers now, because
Oh,
like I open
same.
the app and I'm like, oh, only 60 comments since this morning. What?
Yeah, right.
Why not more? But like, that's a fuck ton of
Yeah.
comments in 8 hours. So Annie's excitement would sometimes, like, her little text here and there would reinvigorate. It'd be like, oh shit, no, this is a big deal. And like, this is a big deal to our client. So it kind of, it brought us down to earth too, a little grounding.
Totally. Yeah. And to the point of like virality doesn't last forever. That reminder of like, okay, the numbers are trickling in, maybe not 3 million views every video.
Yeah.
Which to your point,
Yeah.
we don't want to see.
Right. Like that would be not good. I can't really articulate that better than that, but like I just don't think that would be good or manageable.
Right.
Just for, like, and I don't know, like that just wouldn't.
Yeah.
I think it's a great balance where we are.
Totally.
Yeah, I agree.
Totally.
Not that I don't want to see the views go up still, but like, let's,
Right. Okay, so I'm going to circle back to our conversation in the last episode for a moment.
Yeah.
So taking us off wellness, but on the topic of, wait, where was I going to go with this? We were just talking about Annie. Oh, so like, that's why you don't focus social media on sales, because if you rely on these viral videos or whatever, like, if we were just doing that, if we were continuously being like, okay, what are we going to post next that's going to get 3 million views? Like, you're just losing sight of the potential strategy. So instead, like what Annie's been doing is she's recognized, I've cultivated a following now, a community that is vocal about their support for what I do and my expertise. So she's been in the process of working on like a book project, but now she's exploring the opportunity of more than one. And what could this look like outside? Like, how can she connect to her community outside of TikTok now is where her mind is going, which is the whole point of this whole thing.
Right.
Like, you let it build so that you can decide what's next and how to build the empire bigger than just focusing on how many views can we get on this next video. Like, it's so much bigger than that.
And if in the process somebody sees her that actually does need her for design work and reaches out to do a project, even better. But there's a lot of things that can happen out of something like this happening for a client that they can convert into other success metrics, like opportunities to get some earned media, opportunities to connect with a new potential client base, just some name recognition, stuff like that really goes a long way, especially as a service-based business like she is, to be able to have that expanded
brand awareness and brand trust.
And just like an arm of her work and her community that's not just in person, that it's she can tap into them. And frankly, like, it's a data pool, which that's such a social media manager thing of me to say, but like, if we want to know what her audience cares about, we have to look no further than her comment section. Right. You know what I mean? Like, they're asking her questions. They're even just their anecdotal response, like, I love that was help, like that tells her a lot about how she can be helpful, not just to the general public, but like, I'm sure that's interesting to know for client work and stuff like that. I mean, I would want to know. It's interesting to me when it happens for us.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a couple of rapid fire questions about this experience to maybe wrap up this segment.
Yeah.
Gut reactions only. Don't think too hard. Okay. First question. Do you have a favorite like moment or something that happened during all of this that comes to mind as like that was really cool, or like we've never experienced that before?
My initial thought is just seeing the commenters come to bat for Annie, seeing people like defend mean people, like defend Annie on behalf of her to mean people, like those kinds of things feels really good, because I don't know, you just can't create that.
Mine would definitely have to be the people stitching and reacting to her videos.
Yeah.
Because it's been very positive. Like, people are actually like using some of her sounds and making it their own, and it's really funny. Even I think the one that stood out to me the most was this girl literally just stitched Annie's video and said something along the lines of, I really like this woman. I think she's so helpful. And I don't know. That was just so cool to see that someone went out of their way to make that video for her.
Do you have an answer for that?
Yeah, she said she was recognized in public.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I think that was so cool.
Like, literally a few days after this video went viral, she got recognized, and she tried to chalk it up to wearing the same outfit as the video. And I said, no, ma'am.
No, it's because she's amazing.
You are famous. Yes. Oh gosh, I'm so glad you brought that up. I forgot about that.
Second rapid fire question. If you had one piece of advice to give to a social media manager, now that you're in the midst or on the other side of this experience, what is one piece of advice you would give to a social manager who experiences, I'm not going to say viral, but experiences an increase in activity on a social account, like that they're not used to?
Yeah. So one of the biggest takeaways, and something that I would like to share with other social media managers, is when virality happens, you need to make sure that you're not getting too excited. I know personally I did. And Raya, I remember you kind of reeled us all in and was like, okay, at the end of the day, these are popping off. These Shop With Me videos are killing it, but Annie's brand is way bigger than them. And we need to cover all bases and kind of go back to the strategy of showcasing Annie's expertise because she has so much to offer. A lot of her videos are so valuable. And I think just hearing that really was so crucial in this whole thing, because immediately I think the automatic reaction is to continue to create all the Shop With Me videos. And that really can get you into a niche that you can't get out of.
So don't lose sight of your strategy.
Exactly.
I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say set boundaries with yourself, as exciting as it can be. Let the response and the comments guide your strategy loosely. Like, don't let it define it, but let it guide where you go, and always remember your original intentions with the account when pivoting your strategy.
100%.
Love that. Anything else?
Go follow Annie Elliott Design on TikTok.
True. More to come.
No, but I'd love to hear any thoughts that any listeners have on like any experiences they've had with an account going viral and the wellness of virality around that.
Yeah. Let us know.
A perfect transition. I think one thing we can all agree on is that this would have been a much different scenario if it was just one of us, even if it was just like one of us and the client. It's so not the kind of thing you want to do in a vacuum or by yourself. Cool. So to have a community, the community of the three of us, to be able to represent each other and stay level-headed and celebrate the wins is so critical. And also to have each other to like gut check against, because I think it's moments like these, you just explained it, Michaela, even the best of us in strategy can lose. It's impossible not to get wrapped up in this kind of thing. Even if it's, it can be 3 million views, it can be 100,000 views. It can just be like, something that really does well. You have to have community to lean on to be able to like gut check, say, hey, am I crazy? Is this real life? Like, what do we do next? That community is so important.
Yeah.
And social media managers don't generally have a lot of community by default. Very often, I know this is our experience, social media managers are usually like a team of one or a team of a few and maybe some interns, or your role isn't just social media, maybe,
or that's not your main role. They just put that task on you,
or you occupy the social skill set, but you're in like a marketing team or something that's actually not as, their metrics and success and stuff is measured very differently than you would measure it for social. Or you're a freelancer, you work alone, like whatever that might be, and it can be really freaking isolating to work in social. And we have identified that to be true. So we, as a remedy to that, have for, I think it's been a year now, been cultivating a group of social media managers into one space just to have opportunity for community and for knowledge sharing. And that group is called So Social. And we actually have something fun to tell you about So Social.
So we have actually like a virtual Halloween happy hour later, because we're going to be making a big announcement. So currently this community exists on Slack. I don't know if you said that.
I did not say that. No.
It exists on Slack, which we all know and maybe love or hate, which has been fine up until this point. But we've identified places we want to go with this community and things we want to do with them that feel very limited in a space like Slack. But we're sure as shit not going to pull them into a private Facebook group. And what other options are there? And so Paige, our fearless leader, who's always putting us into new spaces when it comes to M3 and new things, new tech. Well, this particular thing is not new, but it's new to us. New to me. Let me not speak for all of your experiences.
No.
So we decided to switch So Social over to a new online community platform that Paige is going to talk about, and she's going to say why we decided to switch it over.
We're moving to Discord. I personally am so excited about this for so many reasons. Two main reasons. You just mentioned it. Functionality wise, Discord is going to let us do a lot of things that we couldn't do in Slack. Slack is a fantastic tool for like work, connecting with
Sure.
your work team, and we use it for our internal work team. And it was like the natural first place to put So Social because it's free and easy to join. We could kind of create channels within it, you know, to segment conversation. And a lot of people are used to it because it's a work tool. So it was easy and it made sense.
And mainly we knew how to set it up without
Yeah, that too.
somebody's help.
But I feel like we have been hearing about community management in a very different way in the world of social media for the last like year or more.
Yep.
When we were at VidCon, there was a ton of content and sessions around what it means to cultivate community.
Yep.
Community, period, being the way that online is moving. Like
Yeah.
it's not so much about having subscribers or followers now. It's about having an actual two-way conversational community where, you know, you are actually in discussion, in growth, in change with a group of people around a shared interest. And if you're a creator, the shared interest is like you and the stuff you do. Or if you're just in an online kind of, if you're in an affinity group kind of, we heard about some incredible like change makers that are using Discord as a way to come together and like self-govern and actually make, you know, positive impact in the world. So, and Discord came up over and over and over. I've known about Discord obviously as like a gaming platform, like to be able to like talk to other gamers, like when you're playing for a long time. But so VidCon was a reinforcer that Discord was something we should at least think about and know about. We've actually had a potential business come to us because we're in the social space saying, hey, we consider, you know, a place like Discord to be social, like social in the definition of connection, not like social media, but it is still social. So people come to us because they think that's what we do, saying like, can you manage our social environment on Discord? And that's happened to us a couple times now. So we've had to be like, do we know how to use Discord? Like, can we build community in Discord? It's kind of like Slack. We know how to use Slack, but like we're not, I don't, right? No, none of us are natively using Discord.
I'd never been in one prior to this.
I was on Discord, but like not.
Oh yeah, you said your friends use it.
Yeah,
but
my
not
friends
like
use it, but I never really like dove too far into it.
And I was in it just because I knew a few creators who used it as a perk in their Patreon model. Like if you pay a certain amount of money, you get access to this community in Discord. And so I was like in a couple, but not at all using the platform. Like I had an account. But so long story short, the tides were kind of all headed in the same direction. Like we need to know how to use Discord. We don't really know how to use Discord. We don't have a reason to be using Discord right now, but we are building a community in So Social. So long story short, I think we a group decided we were like, we're migrating.
Yep.
And we mentioned this, but the features and stuff are going to be great. What Slack doesn't have that Discord does have is an opportunity to something we're really excited about. There's like voice chat rooms, which is the feature I was familiar with because of like the gaming space. You know, members can join and actually talk to one another. Like that's something that Slack does not really accommodate. I mean, they sort of do, but it's certainly not being used right. There's a stage feature. So you can actually put on a piece of like learning, an opportunity, have a speaker or speakers join they're on stage being spotlighted. And everyone else can tune in and listen and ask questions and engage. And for us, that was like, this is the level that we have not unlocked yet with So Social. Right now, what we have is a fantastic, amazing connected community of social media managers from all walks of life, freelancers, corporate, in-house, agency.
Not in industry anymore, but just like it.
Yep. Us, people who just have to do social. That's not part of their full-time, it's not their full-time job. Right. And what the community does really well right now is they really are supportive of one another in every way, right? Like if someone gets promoted or has good news to share, they put it in, people celebrate. I think that's so cool.
Job opportunities,
questions. Today there was like a whole discussion around Instagram was freaking out and people were losing followers. And the first place I heard about it and saw about it was in So Social. Like the community element is strong and I'm so proud that we've cultivated that. And now I think with the move to Discord, I hope everyone's as excited as we are because one, it gives us the opportunity to bring them even more value, to be able to say, you teach each other and you help each other, but we want to actually bring in more experts and have opportunities for more connected co-working. Like let's get together in a room and workshop strategy. Let's talk about, you know, what are your blockers? What do you need more support on? We can help each other. That's what we're there for. And also hopefully as an opportunity for all of them everyone's going to have a different level of understanding. I can't wait to find out today how many of our current members are like in Discord already and how many this will be like us for the first time.
Yeah.
Like if we're really serious about helping and supporting social media managers, not just to have a place to camaraderie, commiserate, like hang out, but also as a place to grow and be the best possible social manager they can be, then we have to be looking ahead, right? And if closed community management, Discord, stuff like that is going to be a part of, I think it will be, all of our job descriptions in the next year, 2 years, 5 years. We would be doing a disservice if we were not moving to a space where they can actually get that authentic experience in a way that's like, still useful, because it's just what we're doing on Slack. We're just moving. And anyway, it's always going to be free to join. So Social, it's free to join now. But what we're doing is adding a membership model for that really elevated level of additional learning and access. And because we also, I'm just like saying everything we're doing, but because we also, as a team, create resources and stuff for social media managers, we're just unlocking access to all of that stuff that we create anyway, automatically to what we're calling the VIP members of this So Social group, which we're calling the So Socialites, which I love. And we're giving them, basically, it's sort of just like, you don't, once you're in at that membership, like when you're kind of in that elevated community, you can join social and never do that. That's totally fine. Like if that's not a value to you and you just want to be able to chat and ask questions, none of that's changing. But for those who want to go deeper and would really like to like level up and are using it as like a place to kind of grow, basically we're just saying, once you're a member at that So Socialite VIP level, like anything we ever do as thought leaders, as the Hive and as our team, you get access to. Course, you get resource, you get. And then on top of that, we're going to bring in some special speakers. This So Socialite stage is going to be exclusive to the VIP members. And our co-working room is going to be exclusive to the VIP members, which I'm really excited about, because we love to co-work virtually. And sometimes you just need like a body double or somebody to like bounce content ideas off of for content calendar planning and stuff like that. So, and we're going to be in there, obviously. So if people have questions and we can help answer them, we are certainly not the most expert in the group, which is the best part. Like there's people better than us.
We go in there for help.
All the time. Anyway, so we're so excited because we're announcing that. So Social's been around this whole time, but we've been quiet about it because we've been thinking through what this is going to look and feel like. Where are we going? How do we do that? Because the other thing is, big shout out to Pan, who is our virtual assistant on our team, and their connections to I'll shout them out, Seth. These are people that we went to and we were like, we don't really know what we're doing in Discord, and y'all are experts, so help us build this space so that it can be the most functional and do what we want to do. Oh my God, thank you to Pan and Seth. Without it, we would not be launching in Discord. Their help was instrumental. So
I think that's something else to mention, is like, as an agency, what we've learned is you don't have to do all this alone, even though it's very like first nature to want to do this alone. And just because we're social managers doesn't mean we need to become the experts in Discord. We hired the experts to come help us, and then we will, learn our way and pave our expertise as we go. But that's for anything. Like, you can expand your horizons. For example, we wanted to get a little stronger at the Pinterest strategy game. So we're going to be having a meeting with a Pinterest strategy expert. Like, just collaborate with creatives. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to be an expert in everything. Collaborate.
Yeah. We say that all the time. You can't be expected to have all the job titles, but you can tap into other people who know and do. So, So anyway, if you want to join So Social in the Discord community, we'll put a link in the bio or the description of the bio. So Social media. Put the link in the episode description. This is MK's job, not mine.
That's what the
show notes.
The show notes.
And you can join us. Like I said, it is fully free to join, and you have access to literally 98% of the community at the free level at all times. So I hope you will join us. It's going to be fun. But enough about us. That was like a 10-minute pitch on So Social. I just love the community. People are so nice to each other.
It's so refreshing.
I could never, I could just sit in there all day and watch people be nice to each other.
No,
you just
nice.
don't find that other places. But since it's Halloween,
we have some Vin too.
Yeah, I thought we might end with a little spooky social media manager stories.
Okay, since it's Halloween, we are going to dive into spooky social media manager stories.
That was good.
I'll just keep going.
Cut that.
Okay. Moving on to our next segment, we will be discussing spooky social media manager stories, such as posting on the wrong account of a client on accident.
Haven't we all?
Yeah.
Nothing like getting the text, "Did you mean to post that?" Huh?
Right.
No. What the fuck do you mean?
So let's dive deep into it. One of you start with sharing a scary story that you encountered?
This one's spooky, but only because it's like spooky dumb. Like, I can't believe how silly people are sometimes. Back in my agency days, I worked with a client who social wasn't like primarily what we were doing, but it was one of the things that we were helping on. And I don't remember what it was about, but we posted an Instagram, like an Instagram feed post. And this was like, I'm 90% sure it may not even have been like link at all. There might have been no link on Instagram back in the day. Remember when
Yep.
that was a thing?
Yep.
But certainly it was like ahead of link in bio verbiage or whatever. It's forever ago. And we posted the post to all our channels. Obviously, we linked it on Facebook and LinkedIn, but when we posted it to Instagram, we did not. All was well. And then I got a nasty email that was like, excuse me. They were basically like, first of all, we added the link to the post because it wasn't there. And also, it's not working. So it was like basically like you're wrong, and also fix the
Recode
problem.
Instagram.
Yeah, like fix that. Why isn't it working?
Right.
And I had to like take the world's biggest deep breath. I probably had to like take a lap and like maybe scream into like the void in a like conference room, because I basically had to write back and be like, yeah, right. That's because you can't put a working link in an Instagram like caption, even if you try. So it's nothing I can fix for you, because that's not a thing. And second of all, I didn't forget to put it there. I didn't put it there for exactly that reason.
Right.
It doesn't work. And it was scary because I thought I was going to seriously jump through the screen and
Commit
yeah.
a crime.
So to me, that's spooky, but on all the wrong ways. So there's one.
I have one that's legitimately ghostly spooky.
Yes.
We have a client who is renovating a building, and there's supposedly a spirit that lives in this building, like tall tale. And so there were some ghost enthusiasts that came in and got some footage of them speaking to this spirit, supposedly. So we wanted to share this content on Halloween on the client account, just to like capitalize off of the spooky season. But we didn't feel right doing that without learning some information about the supposed spirit that is in there.
Due diligence.
Right.
Mhm.
So we knew a little bit about this spirit. So we did some digging on like names and death certificates, like trying to find some information. And so we called the historical society for the town that this building is in several times, trying to contact somebody that was there to like figure out when we could come in and get information, or if they could like fax it to us. Fax it. I don't know
Yeah,
why
pretty
I said
much.
that. Yeah, fax,
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
fax it.
I think we thought they would have to fax it.
Right.
Right.
So
Something.
old school.
Something. So I called them again. Called them 3 times, and each time the phone was picked up, but silence on the other end. Not even like, somebody rustling. It was just silent. And then I called them 3 times. Nobody picked up. And then they called me back the number. And then again, silent. So then like the next week, I was like, all right, Michaela, we're just going to go there. But why don't you give them a call in the morning to see if it'll pick up? She calls them. Silence. Then nothing. Then you just hang up because there's nobody there. So then we go to the historical society and we let them know at the end of our visit, by the way, your phone line's not working, because we tried to call multiple times, even tried to
Nothing.
call back, nothing. And she's like, that's weird. We don't even answer our phones anymore because they don't really work. So LaGuardia probably answered your call. And we said, And she said, the ghost in the house. Yeah, she's the only really evil presence we've ever felt.
Evil.
Oh, yeah. And then she started going on about how this girl will play the piano for them, but there's no piano in the building. Like, it was like they were talking about this person as if she is their friend that just visits them
And
every
then
day.
they were in the same breath, they're like, she's evil.
Truly
And then
scary.
and she's like, they were just so confidently like, yeah, that was probably her. So
Yeah.
I think I was on the phone with a ghost last week.
And then we proceeded, I will add, she told us about where
LaGuardia,
LaGuardia,
it's like
where
the airport.
where she hangs out in this historic.
She said in the
building.
stairwell.
Yes, in the stairwell. And then we walked by the stairwell, got a good look at it. Very narrow, windy,
Very
steps.
ghostly.
Spooky.
So spooky. Just wanted to add that.
So
Spooky phone ghost.
while it doesn't directly relate to social media,
You were on a social hunt, though.
we're on a
so
social hunt,
Facts,
trying to
yeah.
do our pay our respects to Miss Mary Delaplane.
You got 2 ghosts for the price of 1, basically. That's crazy.
but
Yeah.
she called us back.
She wanted to be heard.
Get her a phone line.
Thanks, LaGuardia.
MK, do you have one?
So mine is back to a spooky client story.
Ugh.
We worked with an account who, however it happened, one of the workers within the client company that we worked with had full access to the Instagram account and would notoriously rogue post their family members.
Yeah. Even worse, I think we realized that the client or the company Instagram was connected to this person's
yes,
Facebook account.
yes.
So
Oh, so it's
anytime
like
Yes.
every Facebook post
She-
was
Thank you
going
for
to
adding
the.
that.
without, I don't think she knew ever that it was going right to the client page.
Oh,
Right. Yeah. So that was unfortunate to have to go and archive.
because it's kind of like a jump scare
It
every
is.
time you
It's like,
You
whoa,
open
open
the
the
account.
account and it's like
What are
some
you doing?
child eating ice cream, but it's the client account. And you're like,
yeah.
That wasn't on the calendar.
ABCDFG.
Right.
It's the
Yeah.
The sound.
Like, no, we need to get that down. But
That's bad behavior.
yeah.
Well, that is so spooky.
I realized that just sounded really unhinged if you didn't know what I was referencing.
No, I did.
It
The,
was-
the TikTok
I
sound.
know you did, but
Yeah,
Is it Nicki Minaj?
Yes,
Yeah,
the Nicki
yeah.
Minaj TikTok sound.
If you know, you know. If
Sorry.
you don't know, then you might know.
If you
But
don't
that
know,
is
you're
a
not listening to
spooky
this
one.
podcast.
Yeah.
That made my face red thinking about that again.
No,
That was
that's
a spooky
hilarious.
one.
I know. Okay, so wrapping up our spooky stories, onto the next segment, some social industry tea.
Honestly, this can count as a spooky one because this is resurrecting the dead.
Yeah, this is coming back from the dead. I don't know.
I-
I can't believe I'm about to have the opinion I am, but go
I
ahead.
can't wait to hear it. So I was scrolling on my phone this morning and saw not an unreliable source, but like I wouldn't say it's the most reliable, but an Instagram news page that I follow reported that Elon Musk and Mr. Beast are in communications of reviving Vine.
Okay, here's the thing. After Vine died, I would not shut up about Vine being dead. I thought it
So
was the
true.
worst thing to happen to the internet, and I
Yeah.
stand by that actually.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm still not on that crusade is because I feel like the essence of Vine revived itself on TikTok for, I mean,
Mhm.
how many reasons? First of all, all the Viners
All the
moved to
Viners
TikTokers.
moved to TikTok.
Even the ones that were like retired. They came out of
Yes.
retirement.
Yeah.
And they made their home on TikTok. It's short form. It's a little more, there's more features and stuff.
Mhm.
But so at this moment in my life, I'm comfortable saying, let Vine rest in peace,
Yeah.
dog. I'll watch my compilation videos on YouTube and I'll get my new laughs from TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
My other concern here, sorry, Mr. Musk. I don't know why somebody on the rocket ship of positive publicity and growth like Mr. Beast would hitch his wagon to somebody like Elon Musk,
Yeah.
who surely is not pioneering like Mr. Beast is the creator
Yes.
at the moment.
Right.
What is Elon Musk going to do for him? You know what I mean?
I feel like that's how you know it was Elon's idea because
Yeah.
I feel like Elon came up with that idea. I was like, I need someone more relevant and tapped into the social
Yeah.
worlds, and then went to Mr. Beast as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know.
I
it
agree with
doesn't-
you. I think it's going to be Vine if they bring it back because TikTok has replaced the love that we had for Vine. Vine sounds still make their rounds on TikTok. Like
Yes.
TikTok is Vine in its
Yes.
own way.
Yeah.
So if they were to try to bring back Vine, they're going to have to figure out new features that don't replicate TikTok, which is
Right.
impossible because essentially TikTok took the Vine.
Exactly. That's my
And-
biggest concern here.
And I think, as you said last week about Be Real, or I don't know when you said this, but how like Be Real, you felt like it was one more app you had to open.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to open Vine. I'll just
No.
go to
No
TikTok.
thanks.
Why would
We're
I
on
open
TikTok,
Vine?
man.
Why would I?
Also, I happily joined. I don't even. We have to look it up. V2. It was like Vine's predecessor. It was made by the
Yeah.
co-founder of Vine, one of the people who was in the original Vine camp.
Yeah.
They made it. It like had the same functionality as Vine. I joined obviously because I was at the time. I was like, yes, anything to bring back Vine. I used to for my old job. I would like write multiple blogs about why Vine needed to come back. Very passionate about this. I don't even think V2 was successful. I
Yeah.
don't know if that was like right pre-pandemic or I forget what happened, but clearly it's irrelevant because I've
Mhm.
forgotten about it
Yeah.
until this very moment. But if V2 can't succeed as its standalone thing, why would Old Vine succeed as a standalone thing? To your point, Rhea, nobody's going to make a new account for that. Like,
No.
it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Also, like, sometimes I think we need to let things die and stay dead. Like, there was a moment where Vine could have resurged, and it's missed. It's passed
Yes.
now.
Couldn't agree more.
You know what I mean? Like, we're
'Cause
beyond
TikTok
that.
fulfilled that.
It did.
When it came out early 2020, like, and then we all started going on there over the pandemic. We were like, oh shit, this is what we
it.
loved about Vine.
This is it. That's
Yeah.
the first thing I would say about it. I was like, it's Vine energy. If you like Vine, you'll like it there.
Yeah.
Totally. And I think there was this little in between where musically.
Yes, I
Yeah.
was just gonna say
what
that.
was before
Yeah.
TikTok. And
hmm
my younger sister would dance on Musically. And for me, my immediate reaction during that time was like, ew, I hate everything about this
Right.
and I will never download this app.
Mhm.
Like it's not Vine.
Yeah.
You can't try to be Vine. So it was really cool to see that
The evolution of
transition.
it.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
evolution of it.
Yeah.
And now it is Vine, basically. So
Yeah.
But
Now
who's
we
to
all
say?
love
We
it.
all had resistance against TikTok for a little bit
know,
at the
I
beginning,
know.
so maybe they won't
just-
do it. But I don't. I will predict this will not happen.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I'm remembering now that there was some kind of whisper about Twitter buying Vine. Maybe they did, and,
And
that
maybe that's why Elon's now
Yeah.
because he's got Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
That's
would
a
help
good
if I
point.
read more than the headline, but that might be part of why.
Well,
because
we'll report back next
if
episode.
they own
if
that,
this
then
starts
maybe.
to.
Yeah.
That's a
Anyway.
good point. That's a great point.
I don't know.
But
But Mr. Beast, get off the Elon Musk. Listen, me to you, girl. Don't hitch your wagon. It's
Yeah.
not the vibe. I mean, do what you want, but like, don't.
you don't need to
You know
do
what I'm
that.
saying? Don't.
Period. You heard it
Also,
here.
like YouTube, if anything, should resurrect a Vine. Like, come up with their own version.
I know, they have shorts, like, turn it into Vine.
It doesn't.
I know.
But I'm not running that circus. We're running
Not my
our
circus, not my monkeys.
Yes. No, so true. And
not my wild waste
this is
wrangle.
like totally going rogue, but what do you think about YouTube Shorts? And do you feel like YouTube is doing a good job of promoting it and getting it out there? Because
No,
I don't hear about it.
Yeah.
can't even upload separately. Uploaded
Yeah.
my first YouTube short last week,
Had
and
the
it said just upload like a normal video, and in the title put short. Help us understand that this is a
That's
YouTube
so
short. And I
janky.
said,
Come on.
huh?
I am an avid YouTube consumer. I'm a YouTube premium member. Like, I am on that thing all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going about it the right way. I think they have some more work to do in terms of how they get creators to use it, first of all, and how they put it in front of other like users, because I fear that right now it's sort of being treated like which has its place, but like, you know, like people are just taking like cut downs of their bigger videos
Yeah,
and putting it into shorts,
100%.
which is like, so it's commercials for
Yeah.
the longer YouTubers, which is totally fine. But like it could have its own ecosystem and it could totally thrive. And a lot of Viners, here we go. A lot of TikTokers are seeking out long form content. I think that's the future,
Yeah.
is that they're going to want a long form space. So they're going to YouTube. So if YouTube is smart
Mhm.
and has the brain cells, they will figure out a way, because they have the best monetization also, like creator payout
Yeah.
model.
Right.
If you can get the short form creators who are willingly coming to your app because they want to make long form to like your short form better, then you have them for the short form and the long form. I'm
Yep.
not saying they're
So
going to like
true.
supersede TikTok, but like they would be wise. It's a
Yeah.
it's a good business move to figure that out, because they're coming anyway. So keep
Right.
them.
What would be really smart for them to do, because in YouTube Creator Studio, when you upload a video, they have minimal editing features. Like trim essentially is all you can do. What would be very smart is for them to incorporate a feature where you could clip multiple 30-second, 15-second clips from a long form that automatically get added to shorts that you can then download and put on
Yes.
TikTok or
So
something.
So smart.
Because then you're doing two jobs in one, and it'd
Yep.
be easier for the creator to like, and it would encourage them, because otherwise you have to take your long form video
Out of the platform, yeah.
cut it down, and then
Yes.
re-upload it into shorts.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
probably why people aren't adopting it, because it's another step.
It doesn't make sense.
And if they are doing it, they're going to do it for like TikTok or a place
Yeah.
where they like have like, you know, I know a lot of creators will
Exactly.
do that, but that's because they've spent the time to cultivate a different audience
Yeah.
on TikTok, so that it makes sense for them to put time into
Right.
like cutting the short form content.
Right.
I don't know. I think they could really win with YouTube Shorts though, because like I get
Yes.
lost in them sometimes,
Yeah.
but like I'm only getting like the content I've already seen in short form, which is just redundant for me. So then I end
Yeah.
up, you know,
Well, and
Yeah.
you know
Not
what it
loving
is
it.
for me? I did try last week to scroll through YouTube Shorts, like what they were serving
Yeah.
me, but it doesn't have the algorithm as TikTok, and
it doesn't
like
know you
TikTok
yet.
has.
Mhm.
And like, because I'm so reliant on TikTok to provide me exactly what I want to see, I was bored within 30 seconds on the YouTube. Like I didn't have the wherewithal to give it the time to learn me, because I was like, I'm just gonna go to TikTok now.
Yeah.
And to that, like, so I've tried to get into the YouTube short space, and it doesn't feel natural, because I go to YouTube because I'm seeking out long form content.
Right.
Yeah.
And I go to TikTok for short form content. So it's really hard in my brain to like see a short
I said
where
one.
in a space that I want to listen to a longer video. So
It's a great
it's
point.
interesting.
Well, what are your thoughts on that? On any of that?
I think it's true, but I do think that we're in a really cool age of like, there's short form video. Even though TikTok has the monopoly, I don't think they have the monopoly. You know what I mean? Like I do
Mhm.
think they do, but everyone's putting up a really good effort at trying to keep up. So I think it's a good thing in general. I think the innovation is going to result in like, I don't know that YouTube Shorts is the thing. Like, I don't, but I think it's all of the work to try and keep up with one another is going to make a better space for. So same is true about like the competition around payment models for creators. Like I think that healthy competition is a good thing for the industry. And so even if they don't have it right now, like where you want to get your long form, where you want to get your short form, like I think it's cool to see happening. But curious what everyone else thinks. Are you a YouTube Shorts person? Are you not? Do you think it's cool? Do you hate it?
Where do you see the future of it going?
Yeah. Oh, and also we didn't ask you, but I would love to hear your spooky stories around social media manager.
Yes.
Tell alls.
Be sure to DM it to us, post it.
Give us a
TikTok and tag us. Put it as a audio response to the Spotify. Lots of options. Let us know.
Yep. We will respond.
Well, thanks for tuning in to episode 3 of the State of the Social podcast. What is this even called?
Yeah. Show up and talk. That's what it's called. We'll see you next time. Happy Halloween.